Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about permissions management of files and directories. First of all, we will learn how to check permissions. Then we will also learn how to change the permissions using either symbolic method or octal method. We will learn both. Then we will move to set UIDs and set GIDs. We will learn more about them. And finally, we are going to learn about sticky bits. So without wasting time, why don't we just get started? How do we check the permissions? First of all, how do we check whether it is a file or a directory? And once we confirm that it is a file or a directory, then how to check the permissions of that file or directory? It's quite simple. Right now I'm logged in to my Kali machine. So I will show you how actually to check that. You can run a simple command ls-ltr to check the permissions of a file or a directory. So you can see these all are directories. How I know that? Because they all begin with D, letter D. Let me quickly create a file here. Now again type in ls-ltr. Now this particular file that we just created begins with hyphen. That means that this is a file. Anything starting with the D is a directory and anything starting with a hyphen is a file. Next, you can see these three characters. This is a set of three characters each. First set of three characters, second set of three characters, and third set of three characters. So what do they actually mean? Why they are divided into a set of three characters each? So they actually define the permissions, permission assigned to this particular file or permission assigned to this particular directory. Let's understand these permissions, what they actually mean. As you can see, the first letter denotes whether it is a file or directory. The second set of three characters RWX. R means read, W means write, and X means execute. They belong to the user who is logged in, who is actually the owner of this particular file. How to check the owner of the file? Simply check this particular column. This particular belongs to the owner of the file, and this particular column belongs to the group. So as you can see, this particular permission RWX means that CyberHub user has read, write, and execute permissions to the videos file or folder. Sorry. The second set of permission R-X belongs to the group. So any user who is part of this group. Right now, this particular group has only one user, which is CyberHub. But any other user which we may later add to this group will get these permissions, which is read and execute permissions. There is a dash for write, so that means that the group users won't get any kind of write permission. Anyone else who is not an owner or who is not part of the owner group, we call them others or public. Those users will get read and execute permission as shown in this particular highlight. So as you can see, all other users will here get to read and execute permissions. It's clear. The first three characters belong to the owner. The next set of three characters belong to anyone who is part of the group. And the last set of three characters belong to others, anyone else who is not actually an owner or part of the group. Okay, so let's try to create a file and let's try to change the permissions of that file and let's review what kind of effect does it have on the file. Let me open a new window here and let me log in as a root here. Okay, so I'm logged in as a root user on one of the terminal, and another terminal I'm logged in as a normal user. So where we are right now on the root, let me enter this home directory of the user CyberHub. What do we have here? Okay, let me just enlarge it a bit. Okay, so let me remove this file and let me create a new one. How to create a file? We can use a touch command, and I'm going to create file 1. I'm going to add some contents to this file. Okay, so now I have added some contents. Let me save this. You can check the contents using the cat command. All right, so let's check the permissions of this file that we just created. File 1. So as you can see, root is actually the owner of this file. So the root user will have read and write permissions, but anyone else will only have read permissions. So how to verify that? You can see that I'm logged in as CyberHub on this particular terminal. So I'm going to access the file now. I should be able to access the file, but I should not be able to write anything to that file. Let's confirm that. Let me use ls-ltr. As I can see, this file has been created, file 1, but it is owned by the root user. So can I view the contents of this file? Yes, I can. All right. Can I write some content to this file? Let me try. You can see here we get a warning that file 1 is unwritable. So no, we can't write anything to this file. But can we change this behavior, this default behavior of the file? Yes, we can. There are two methods that we can use to alter the permissions of a file. One is a symbolic method and another one is the octal method. We are going to learn both, so let's first begin with the symbolic method. It's easy. We want other users to write something to this file. So we want to allow users to write something to this file. What shall I do? I will use chmod command and then O for others and then plus sign, and then I will add W here to add the write command, and then I will mention the file name that I want to edit. Okay, the command was executed successfully. Let's again verify that. Now you can see the W has been added here. Others should have write permissions now. In the previous screen, you can see the user only have other users only have the read access, but now they also have write permissions. So how to verify that? Let me try to open that file again using the second terminal. Now we don't see that error message that we were getting in the previous window. Let me try something. Okay, so let's confirm if the contents were really added to that file or not. We can run the cat command here, or we can run the cat command here. Let me run it here. See, whatever text we added is now successfully added. So we were able to change the permission of this file using the chmod command. Okay, so let me quickly change the permissions to the previous state. Chmod o minus. Now, if we want to remove the permission, we can use the minus option. O minus W, and in the same command we can also modify other permissions, like if we want to modify the permissions of the owner or the group, we can do it on the same command. Let's say I want to add write permissions for the group, so we can use comma and add the permissions and then the file name. Let's verify. So the permissions has been changed again. Now what is the octal form, the octal method to change the permissions? It's quite simple, and we use numbers instead of the characters like O plus W or O plus R. We simply use the numbers to change the permissions or to define the permissions of any file or directory. So understand that read, we assign the number 4, for write we assign the number 2, and for execute we assign the number 1. So as shown here, if a file or a folder has RWX mentioned for the owner, so that means it will be 4 plus 2 plus 1 equal to 7. Similarly, for a group, it is R and execute, so that means 4 plus 0. 0 because this doesn't have any write permissions. So the net permission here would be 5. Same for others, 4 plus 0 plus 1, that is 5. So simply we can use command like chmod 755 and the file name rather than mentioning everything like u plus o or something like that. We can simply use the numbers to define the permissions. Let me show you using an example. Hope you can see my screen. Let me clear it out. So let me log in as root to change the permission because root is the owner for this file. So only root can change the permissions. Logged in as root now. Let me clear the screen once again and once again display the permissions for file 1. Sorry. First we will have to enter the directory. So I'm going to change the permissions using the octal form. How to do that? It's simple. We just learned that. We will use chmod. So for the owner, we will leave the permission as it is. So what the permission currently we have 4 for read and 2 for write and 0 for execute. So 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. 6 for the owner. Now for group, we will keep that as 6. And now we want to assign the write permissions for other users. So read plus W, that means 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. Chmod 666 and the name of the file. Let me quickly verify if the permissions were really changed. Now you can see we successfully changed the permissions using the octal form. Easy. Moving next, let's learn about set UID and set GID. What do we have? Why do we need set UID and set GIDs? Okay, as you can see, I have logged in as root on one of the terminal, and on other terminal, I am logged in as a normal user. First thing first, what is actually the set ID and GID? I mean, they are actually can be defined or can be set on executable files to provide non-owners and non-group members the ability to run them with privileges of the owner or the owning group. What does that mean? I will show you using an example, mostly used in something like sudo or su, switch user commands in Kali or other Linux versions. We can set the setuid bit or setgid bit, even though the user will not have the owner permission or the write permission, but he will be able to use those files or those commands as an owner. Let me show you how. I'm logged in as a root user here. So let me show you how it looks like. You notice this S bit here. Now this S bit allows any user to log in as a root. As you can see here on another terminal, I'm able to log in as root. Even though other users like CyberHub, they only have read and execute permissions, but just because of this set ID set on this particular command, su command, we are able to switch into root. Let me exit that quickly. Now I will remove this set ID bit, and I will see, we will verify if we are able to switch into root. How to do that? We will again use the chmod command. This time I will use user minus s, and then I will give the path. Okay, so we have successfully changed the permission. Let me verify that. Now this S character is missing now. So let me try to switch to root profile now using the su command. I'm typing in the password, but I won't be able to log in. I will get authentication failure message. Let me quickly add it back. What I need to do to add it back, I simply has to use u plus s and hit enter. Let me quickly confirm that. So the S bit is again back. I should be able to log into root profile now. As you can see, I can now log in as root. Set GID is same. In place of the user, we change the permission to the group. So anyone with any user, will any user part of that group will get that additional permissions. So the last topic for today is the sticky bit. It's simple. Sticky key bits are added to any file or folder just to make sure that no other user is able to mistakenly, or accidentally delete any kind of files or folders. As you can see here, even though the other users have read and write permissions, they won't be able to delete this file, sorry, the folder, because we can see there is an extra character added here denoted by T. This will make sure that we are not able to delete this file. So friends, I hope you liked my video. So if you did, please make sure that you click on the like button and just don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.